Okay, we are live. So, hello everyone. I'm Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School. So, I would say welcome back with one more bootcamp. And recently, I completed Salesforce Sales Cloud bootcamp. So, as you know, like from last 1 year or 1 year or so, I'm doing lots of bootcamps, and I'm here with you with one more bootcamp. And this time, we are with AI and ML. So for this bootcamp, I have invited Nikita. So I hope you know Nikita. Welcome. First of all, welcome Nikita on the platform.
Thank you.
Okay, so I hope you are already familiar with Nikita because she did one of the famous bootcamp that was based on AI associate, and just to share, like that bootcamp will be very much helpful for you because recently Salesforce announced you will be having free AI associate and AI specialist certification. So you can follow that playlist and you can learn about AI associate and you can go for the certification. And in continuation with that series, so lots of folks reached out like, what is AI actually? How we can implement things? Because in that bootcamp we discussed all theoretical aspects, but to have some practical knowledge, we decided to have some bootcamp which is practical in nature as well, right? So that's why we have a bootcamp for you that is learn AI and ML with Python, right? So we are from Rajasthan, India, and I just before starting the bootcamp, I just want to know from the audience, like from which city or country you have joined the bootcamp. So you can just write your country name or your city where you live, so that we know the reach of this YouTube channel. And I would be happy to know like from uh, what all different areas you have connected. So just keep on typing in the chat. So meanwhile you are typing, I just pass it on to Nikita so that she can introduce herself. So Nikita, over to you. You can just go to the next slide. Okay, over to you.
Hi, everyone. This is Nikita Chandiramani, and you have been seeing me in past. I think we around 9 months back was my first video that was launched. We did our first live session that was based on AI associate certification explanations and fundamentals. And we thought that like it was the time when I was working into this domain of data science, and I was working on the projects, and then finally we decided that let's collaborate for an AI associate certification program. So that's when we did that. But now we have experience of considerable number of projects, we thought that why not share the same thing with you all as well, and let us expand our horizon of thinking, because I am going to help myself understand even more better things in the near future, and you will also engage and learn a lot of new things that you might not know until now. But of course, since the this is going to be launched as something that is going to be an extensive training program that is going to be towards your jobs and corporate sections. So right, so that is our target, that we are going to uh, finally be training in a way so that you can fetch most of the trending jobs these days, right? So that's me. I'm Nikita, and I've been passionate about AI and ML, and my experiences are I have been consultant in mathematics earlier, and now I have dived into this whole trending thing that is called generative AI and artificial intelligence. All of these things that I've been doing, and yeah, I mean that's what my slide also explains to you. And now we will proceed further to see exactly what is going to be there in our boot camp that is going to done on YouTube, probably 3 days a week, and then 2 days a week. Like it's going to be alternate. So we have chosen some days for 1 hour on these 3 days, and some weeks will be having 2 hours per week. So that's how we are going to go ahead. Probably this will be a 3 month long program, and it will be very interesting. Plus you will gain a lot of insights about how actually do we do the machine learning things, right? So it will start from the Python fundamental introduction, where we are going to introduce you towards your first Python program and exactly what is Python, that also. Then we'll dive into the mathematics for the, sorry, yeah. Then we'll dive into the mathematics for all the ML and DI that is required. Then you will have an ML section as well, where we are going to learn about different machine learning algorithms that I'll tell you what algorithms are we going to do. Probably after that, you will be having an enough knowledge that is going to be applied into the ML project. So one ML project probably is the target. However, we can do more, of course, but certainly one project, so definitely we will complete over here in these boot camps. Then we will go on to the natural language processing. This was a topic that we extensively studied about in the AI associate program as well. But now you will be learning in even more depth, so that you may find it even more applicable into your domains, whichever domains you are from. Since AI is going to be developed for all the domains that we have, being healthcare, manufacturing, finance, everywhere it is going to be applied. Okay, so that is where you will see that your natural language processing and neural networks, you will see a vast implementations of these particular topics in those domains, right? So then finally we will hop on to the end of this bootcamp, that will be neural networks and deep learning. But that will just be the end of the bootcamp, not the end of the programs that we are going to run in the near future, because obviously we are going to have even more sections coming up. So this is just a restricted 3-month boot camp, so that you can have a considerable knowledge, at least that you should know what machine learning is, because that's the trendiest thing as of now. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you already explained what we are going to do in this bootcamp. Before
Yeah.
she explain all the sub modules in detail, I just want to have a request, like please like the videos on YouTube if you want to show some gratitude, because for the whole community, all these boot camps we are doing for the free of cost, right? So I think we can go ahead and you can explain each and every topic in detail, so that people know like what all sub modules we have and what content we will be covering through those. Over to you.
Certainly, yes. So we know that we require a tool for the implementation of all the algorithms. Like, of course, I'm not going to write with a pen and implement it. We do need something, right? But what is that exactly? That is what Python is. Python is a tool that you are going to use for the implementations of all the algorithms, starting from the first one, that is going to be the linear regression algorithm or linear regression model, whatever you may call, right? That requires mathematics also and Python also. So with that, probably you will be implementing the first algorithm of machine learning, which is linear regression. And I have explained in a very extensive manner in the AI Associate Certification Bootcamp all the supervised learning, unsupervised, learnings. So that's how the machine learning would work. So you can, before you start this one, you all can just have a look on that AI Associate, and we have literally spent hours to get the matter and then explain it into a certain way. So you all can just go through that. You all can just go through the content over there, and then probably come over here to gain even more better advanced knowledge about it. So our first tool is to use the Python programming language, so that we can implement our AI machine learning algorithms in a certain manner. Well, now Python fundamentals, what does it require? Like, we need to let you know that what is Python. So that would be the first thing. Then probably that will go on to the installation and introduction, because I'll make you install the PyCharm. That is the community edition of PyCharm. You can in fact download it right now if you want to, but that's what we are going to work in. And then we will be downloading the Jupyter notebook as well. So these are the two things that we are going to further, like we are going to go into further. Then we have variables, data types, and string operations. If you are aware of what a programming language is, if you have done a programming language earlier, maybe let's say you have done a programming language called C. So you know very well that there is a requirement of data types to be known, there is a requirement of variables to be used, then there are a lot of string operations, list operations. So all of that we are going to study so that we are able to make the computer understand what exactly do we want, because that's what programming language is. We make it understand our requirement in a way so that it can help us with our requirement in its own way, right? Then we go on to the control flows, operators, lists, and loops. Finally, we go on to the Python function, which is again very interesting, that you will enjoy, implementation of the Python functions. Then we have strings at a glance, because that's one of the most important topics in fact, any programming language. Strings come up with some certain intricacy. That's what you're going to learn about. Then we have CSV data and Python libraries. So Python libraries like NumPy, Pandas, this is what we are going to study, because that is again VVIP for very, very important for your execution of the machine learning programs and algorithms, right? Then we are going to go on to the dictionaries and tuples, and then files, and then I'll explain the Python as an object-oriented programming language. So that's how this is going to work. A little plus minus 5 can happen, but not more than that. Then we are going to dive into mathematics for data science. You should know that you will require maths in any manner. If you are into machine learning, you will have to study a bit of maths. I wouldn't say that you should have a prior knowledge of mathematics. You should just know what operators are. Rest is on me. We are going to take you from introduction to the types of statistics that are there, and then you will be finding out the mean, median, mode, and then standard deviation and variance of certain data. Because when you have a data, you need to do these processes on it, and then have a output which through which you will decide which function would you require, through which you will decide what algorithm should we use. So maths is important, guys. If someone says that it's not important and you can just go through that, so I mean that is just half of the knowledge that you are skipping probably. So it's better to dive into it with a concrete understanding. Okay. Then you have standard and Gaussian normal distribution. And then finally, we have z-score and hypothesis testing, in which we are going to help you learn how exactly that works. Then probably we go on to the linear algebra. Linear algebra, you will be learning about vectors, matrices, determinants. So this is how this is going to move. And certainly we will try to, connect all of it with the requirements of how machine learning actually would want this knowledge, right? So that would be our certain area of interest and explanations. Then finally, we go on to the machine learning algorithms. So we will introduce you to the machine learning, though in AI Associate we have done so, but here also we'll try to explain it in even more simplified manner what machine learning is all about. Then we'll go to the first algorithm, that will be linear regression. Simple, multiple, and polynomial, 3 types of regressions you will learn. Then we will go on to the logistic regression. Regression, if you remember, some of you might remember who must have attended the session of AI Associate, where in regression we played with the numbers. So there was a program that I wrote wherein we had the model which was displaying the salaries based on what CGPA you had in your college, or anyway, you will be judged on the percentiles that you had in CAT exam, let's say. So your salaries will be in a numerical order. That numerical output is itself that we call as regression model. So regression means continuous numerical analysis and numerical outputs. That's what we would mean. And similarly, we did classification, clustering, all of that, right? So then we moved on to the decision tree, random forest and boosting, then KNN, SVM, XGBoost. Right now, I'm pretty sure that you do not have the idea of it, but certainly as the course will move ahead, you will probably learn all of these things in a very fundamental or concrete manner. Okay. There'll be, as I mentioned, there'll be a project on machine learning probably, and then that will be the introduction, application flow, data operations, model selection. And model selection is one of the most important things in any machine learning aspect. So when you are giving that you are in a horizon of thinking and projecting something, like somebody has asked you like how can we have in a business, there's a business, big business model has to be created wherein we are wanting that we should target those customers who have a high spending rate. Okay, so I am going to use any of the machine learning model that I think would be the best one for this one. Okay, so this way you will help the company in finance to get their own model and get their own outputs, and then probably you will be having a lot of job opportunities further. So when you apply and implement everything, you do have the opportunities further, guys. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that we definitely look for, that project is certain, right? That's when you learn the skills of implementation. So that's why we included this one as well. Then we will do a considerable amount of natural language processing in Python and in R programming. R programming is plus minus, so even if you do not want to do it, that's pretty fine. But Python is mandatory. Through Python, yes, we will do the natural language processing. So there will be a considerable number of sessions based on this as well. Right now, we will not dive into the natural language processing as of now. But in case if you want to have the idea, my last session in the AI Associate was based on the natural language processing, and it has garnered some 1K views in like pretty 3 months maybe. So you can, probably just check that out, because this was again our attempt to make it more explainable in a format, so you can just go through that and get the desired knowledge, because I explain lemmatization, segmentation, parsing, everything about that how Siri would actually know that what it has to do, what Alexa would exactly know, how do you want it to function, right? So that everything depends on natural language understanding and natural language generation, right? So that's what we have already discussed. In case you are very new to this program, you may please just go and just watch it. In case you are not watching that, then we will probably have same discussion over here, but yeah, in even more extensive manner. So that's what our target is. Then we finally move on to the last section of this particular whole fundamental bootcamp, that is neural network and deep learning, wherein I'm going to introduce what deep learning is exactly. Then artificial neural network is a type of neural network that we are going to take in a glance. So all of it will be based on the ANNs only over here, though there are a couple of more neural networks like convolution neural networks and others. But right now, in this session, in this bootcamp, we are only going to include the artificial neural network, wherein we are going to discuss about neuron activation function, how does the natural neural network works, then the gradient descent, and then we are going to implement the ANNs in Python as well and in R programming, right? So that's going to be the flow of the whole bootcamp, which we request that you should certainly attend, because the market is ready to shift to a totally different domain, and you should really know these things, right, for the future upliftment of your upgradation of the knowledge and the skill set of course. So this was it for this bootcamp introduction. I think, yeah. Then, of course, the future relevance of the course is that you will be clearing fundamentals of Python fully. Then you will have the machine learning knowledge of beginner to intermediate at least. And then a firm understanding of the artificial neural network you would be having. So you would know exactly what is going on. Now, proceeding further is your choice, but at least the fundamentals you would be knowing. Yeah.
Okay,
So
I think this
that,
part, yeah, I can cover. So I just want to give you a 2 minutes break. So, guys, bootcamp duration will be 3 to 4 months. Like we are targeting to complete this in 3 months, but if we need more sessions, so we are tentatively targeting to complete it in 4 months. And I can see few folks are asking like whether it will be available free or paid. So all the session we are going to do on YouTube, and all these sessions will be available free of cost, right? But for certain duration, and alongside, like after completion or maybe in the middle, if you think you are learning and you are interested to learn more in personalized sessions, so we will be launching our job readiness program also, where you will be getting the training in the close group, where 10 to 15 people will be there, and we'll be guiding you one on one. right? So for this bootcamp, we'll be having two to three sessions per week, so that we can complete it in 3 to 4 months. And we will keep the timing same for all the sessions. So if we go to the next slide, so timing is 8 p.m. IST for all the sessions. So we'll try to keep that intact, so that you remember, like, every week at least 2 to 3 times you will be coming on to this channel, and you will be learning uh, few things about AI and ML with the help of Python. Okay, so yeah, this is the plan. And Nikita already explained what all modules and sub modules we are going to cover, and what all content we'll be covering in the overall bootcamp, right? So I think she will be giving you a little bit idea about the Python, right? So over to you again, so that you can just connect. And this is day zero session, so we will be keeping it light, so that you have brief knowledge, and then from here you can continue and attend other sessions also. Over to you.
All right. So let's check out the next thing that I have. I'll take just a moment, guys, to reshare my.
And sorry, due to some technical reasons, my video got freezed. So sorry for that.
Okay, is it your internet? I thought it's mine, but
No,
okay,
no.
fine.
And I can't do some R&D because it is live, so it is okay to be on pause.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can try the phone hotspot. In fact, if you think that
No,
can
internet
work.
is working fine. It is some like software issue through which we are doing live streaming.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just slideshow present.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive into the Python programming language, guys. This is again the most trendiest language. Now, it wasn't meant to be, but it eventually became, because Python was introduced in a manner that you will have to be, so, like, this language was pretty concise, a user-friendly language. And why was it user-friendly? Because we thought that already in the C programming and C++ and the other programming that we had so much syntax to write, right? We had to carry those header files, and then we just had to print that int a is equal to 10. That means that the data type of a is 10, and that's what we mean by, now the value of a has changed to 10. Whatever the initial value was, we don't care, but right now it is integer type a is equals to 10. So a lot of things were to be written for it. So what the other person, that is the this person, what did he do exactly was, he concised the the format, and then finally he came up with that, all that big program. When I used to write return, and when I used to write that hash include stdio.h, you include the standard input output header files, so that you can use those functions, right? So that was particular syntax in C that we used to use. But now in the Python programming language, all of that has been reduced to literally just one statement, that is print and whatever is inside of the brackets, right? So that's why this became a language of the future. Okay, so let's dive into and see how does it go. So the lessons outline is just what is Python and the history of Python. Then you have main features and implementations of Python. Then you have installation of PyCharm IDE. Then you have your first Python program. So that's how the texture of this session would be. So we'll see what exactly Python is. Well, it's again a programming language wherein, again, I'm going to tell my computer that what you need to do. But now I'll have to use small words that it understands, and then it is going to perform the tasks, even if I do not include those kind of files which I used to include in my previous languages. That's why Python became trendiest, because it was light in weight than those that were, having those other statements which were now not of any use. Then it is an interpreted high-level programming language. Now, the meaning of high-level programming language is that this language was user-friendly. So it was very much understandable. me, you, everybody could literally see that, print means what? It is going to generate an output, right? So the
Software stopped automatically, then Zoom also was giving some issues. So I just restarted everything. So we are live now. No problem.
Okay. Okay, great. So yeah, I was telling you about the Python theory and also the story of Python, that it got introduced because it had to loosen up all those extra files that we used to get the input and into our any of the ID whatever we use, right? So that's why we went on to shifting into Python. So now that was high level programming. And I was into a process to explain you what interpreted would mean. So there's a thing called compiled, there's a thing called interpreted. In the compilation process, what happens is the whole program is executed. And then in the end, it produces the errors. If the errors are there, the program will not generate an output. But in the interpreted language, what happens is your interpreter would just execute line by line, and in the end, not in the end, in fact, when you are on the line and if there's error in one line, then it's going to stop there, and then probably it's not going to move to any other line to execute. So it's going to generate the error, and as if you're not going to solve it, the program, the cursor, it's not going to move ahead, right? So the execution becomes impossible in case of Python program if in case you write a code in Python. Okay, then it is object oriented in nature. Now I'm going to tell this part in a scrutinized manner when I use it into the program. So that is just for a freeze as of now, but we'll take it up. And then finally, we have an easy to learn syntax, because I told you that it's a lightweight language. We do not have to use a lot of header files and return statements and those brackets that were cumbersome. Also, the semicolon also got rid. So that is again one thing that students used to face so much error in, because mostly when I used to do the C programming with the students, they used to mostly forget those semicolons. So now you don't have to worry because you don't actually put it. So we got rid of the semicolon into this Python. Then we went on to what is exactly the interpreter. So you should know, when you are talking about a programming language, you should know what exactly the interpreter is. So interpreter is a computer program, guys. Most of the people do not know what exactly the interpreter is. So here it is, that converts each high level program that we have written into the IDE, into the code that machine would understand, your computer would understand, right? So here in Python, whatever I'm going to write, it's going to be interpreted and it's going to be converted into the code that machine would understand, because machine doesn't know what the meaning of print is, right? So it has to have a format what it understands, and it only understands the language of zeros and the ones, that is the on and the off. That's it. So all of this is going to be converted into the code which the machine would understand. So, but how? So it does that line by line, as I have explained, and it stops on the line it finds the error in. This is about the interpreter, and Python is an interpreted language. Then what is a compiler? So compiler, again, that converts the high level language into the machine language program, and it executes the full code and tests the error in the end. Output is not going to be displayed until and unless you clear the error out. So now you should know what interpreter and compiler exactly mean. Then we move on to what is a program? Like, what am I writing? What am I going to, give it to the IDE? What exactly do I mean when I say a programming language? So I'm going to pass on a set of instructions to my IDE because I want to make my task done. I want to make a program for the addition of some numbers, let's say, right? So that is what I want to make. The first program we created was to create a calculator. Like, in the output we wanted, so there was, of course, when we wrote the program and we got the output, so we tend to write into it that, this is the number that you should add with another number. So again, if you write this small program, A is equal to 5, B is equal to 6, and then into the C, we store what is the output from A and B, and, A plus B. So that's going to be stored in C, and then finally it's going to print out. Now you can see that how lightweight it is, right? We don't need any semicolon for it. I don't need to put the data type of A over here, that it is going to be the integer, the Python itself would understand that if I have written 5, then it would mean that integer is the data type of A variable. So this is what we called dynamic semantics, right? So you should know this particular part, that's what Python is famous for. So what is a program? It is a set of instructions that you give to an IDE so that it can perform the required operation. Okay, whatever operation you want it to perform, it is going to perform only and only if you would suggest it to perform. And this is how you would suggest it to perform. This is very user friendly. Everybody, even a kid, would understand what this would do, right? So it's pretty easy to learn Python programming language. Then what are the features of Python? Like, why are we exactly studying Python and not C, C++ programming? Why is it not possible to have a machine learning in the C programming language? So that's what we're going to study over here, which is first thing is dynamic semantics. I told you that if I'm going to put 5.0 in the variable A, it will automatically understand that it's gonna be the float. Okay, if I'm going to put a true, it is going to understand it's the data type of Boolean, right? Boolean data types. So all the data types you will learn, but right now I'm just telling you that it is going to automatically understand, and that's a part of dynamic semantics. Okay, if you would put just 5, it's the integer data type. Okay, so that's pretty easy to understand. This language is easy to learn and use. Expressive language, it's an understandable and readable format. And then it's a cross-platform language, because if I'm going to write a program in the Mac, that's going to be the same program written in the Linux, then Unix, and then Windows as well. So you don't have to worry about that. It's a cross-platform language and it can be used everywhere. But in every operating system, you can use this programming language, Python. Then we have a set of broad standard library, which makes it vital for the machine learning to use this programming language, because it has got all the mathematical functions in the NumPy library. Then you have Python, then you have scikit. So you have got all the libraries that are, matplotlib. So these are all the libraries that are going to be there that we are going to function in, right? So this is the broad standard library pool wherein you will find all the libraries where different functions are predefined. Okay, that's what we are going to learn in future. Then we will see the Python applications. Now, of course, since we are learning Python, we should know what applications Python comes up with. So in data analysis, that is, when you, now if I would say that and analyze the data, that would be a very straight statement. But of course, if you have to see what exactly the data is informing us, what does this data carry in itself? What is this, unstructured data? Because all of the images that you produce on Instagram, all of the videos that you produce on Instagram, they're all unstructured and they carry vital information of your likes and dislikes. And this is where the companies would like to attack, because they should know your likes and dislikes in order to bring their businesses to advantage. So that's the information that they are going to collect from your dislikes and likes, so that they are going to be performing even better than what they could perform at that moment, right? So that's where data analysis comes into play. Then you have robotics. You understand by this word robotics where exactly it would be used. Then in the web and desktop application, but of course the framework that you're going to use over there is Django, and that's not we are going to discuss over here, because we are relevantly doing the machine learning things over here. Then it is also used in network programming, web scraping, and data visualization. So you will understand these things later on, but our target over here would be mostly data analysis and implementation of machine learning algorithms in Python. These are just some extra usages that we have written over here.